Yeah, just meet another amazing crowd, amazing pink out. Everything was good except for our play in the first half. But we fixed it, and especially I think we paid better attention to detail defensively to start that second half, and we're able to create some separation. But give credit to DePaul as well. Coach Brady in a short time has done a really good job of getting those guys to believe in themselves. They were prepared for some of the stuff that we do, and they were able to take it away and got downhill and got to the rim and scored more points in the paint than generally teams do on us, especially in that first half. So, but I'm proud of the way the guys kind of flipped the script at halftime.
Questions for the student athletes first.
For either guy, I guess, what is the difference in terms of your assessment of how you were able to separate in the second half versus why it stayed tight in the first?
I think it was just a couple mental lapses. I think every possession we didn't have, it was a couple people just kind of missing assignments, not really doing the things that we asked. So I feel like it was just kind of mental lapses here and there that I felt like was stopping us from really getting a couple stops in a row. But in the locker room, obviously, we fixed it, turned it around, and then the second half we were able to do what we were supposed to do.
Trey, can you walk us through that moment right out of halftime? They had obviously hung around through the first half, and then you guys come out. I think they dunked, and then you hit the three, hit the pull up. What was behind that, and how big was that to get you guys going?
I think it's big. I think that we moved the ball a lot better in the second half as well. I think that it was a lot more movement on the offensive end, and then after that dunk, I think it was like they only scored on 2 of their next 15 possessions. So I think it was big for us to see a couple stops, and then I think that led to our offense. We were able to get in transition after that. So it was a lot of great movement in the second half, and I think that we did a very good job of getting in transition and getting some stops.
Steve, 5 for 9 from 3, a lot of stuff off the move. How'd you get into the rhythm, and how'd you feel out there?
Coach Max graded underneath out of bounds, and I got 2 of my first few out of underneath out of bounds plays that we've practiced, and we watched the film and saw that we might be able to get some good looks there. And so, when you see the first few go down, I think that your confidence is always there. And then, I think in the second half, I think it was Trey that found me on all 3 of them. And so when you got guys that can get into the paint and make guys collapse, and then just myself outside on the perimeter making sure that I'm finding windows, I think that I did a good job of that in the second half and was able to knock them down.
Steven, you stepped into a couple there. You hit back-to-back within a few possessions. It looked like that was the most confident and comfortable you had been in the offense in a while. Did you feel that case? I know you kind of mentioned that over the past couple of weeks, but do you feel like you've settled into everything now? Yeah,
I think that obviously it's always going to take time coming into a new situation, but my teammates have had utmost confidence in me, and as a player that's at times considered undersized and all of that, you got to have confidence in yourself to be playing at the highest level in the Big East. And so, I believe I can accomplish great things. And so when I get open shots, Coach Mack, Trey, all those guys tell me to take it. So, yeah, I definitely feel that confidence for sure.
Trey, two more for the guys.
Trey, you, Baylor, and Kalk have logged some miles over the last handful of games. So how important is it going to be to have the next 5 days off and getting a little bit of time at the end of today's game just to reset and get the legs fresh?
Yeah, I think it's big. I think that we've had like a good January. I would say I think that we've had a great month of January, and I think we can keep building off of it. I think that after this recovery period that we have, we just have to continue to build and even be more locked in going into February, because we know that we have some big games coming up. We know that we're going to have a good Butler team, and then they're going to have a week off. So, just for us to stay locked in and be able to carry this momentum that we have right now is big for us. I think that those guys would say that everybody needs a break right now, not just us, just to, just kind of sit and reflect and then be able to watch a little bit of film. And, we haven't really had a period of time where we could just be away and from the game for a little bit and then being able just to, just live our normal student-athlete lives. So.
Steven, you got the pink out under your belt now. What was the reaction to the way that place looked today?
Yeah, it was amazing. It was special to be able to, just experience that. And, for me and my family, it hits close to home. And I didn't know that they were going to have everybody's name up there around. And so, obviously, to be, before starting lineup's call, to see my sister-in-law's name on the left, and who's a cancer survivor, and then my uncle who passed away last year from a brain tumor, to see his name. It was just something that was special to be able to remember that, you know, as a basketball player, you're always playing for something bigger than yourself, but to be able to remember those that you love most while playing a game like this, it was something super special. And, you know, Creighton and the entire atmosphere and the entire culture does a great job of, you know, putting on an event like this to, you know, fight that good fight.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks, y'all. Continue with questions for Coach.
Back to Terry was 11, 15 from 3 coming in the last 2 games. He got that first one off the offensive rebound, but what did Steven do to chase him off the line and stay attached?
Same thing he's been doing. You know, he's been physical. He's been elusive in terms of avoiding screens, and you know, he's just really embraced this role that probably in his wildest dreams he never imagined he'd be playing. And you know, we don't win the last 4 games without him. The ways, and you know, and Trey did a great job too, because they did play Ramey and he together, and those are the 2 guys that you really worry about from the 3-point line. And you know, they only got up. I guess Ramey was 0 for 2 and Terry was 1 for 2. So their 2 best shooters only get 4 shots from the perimeter. Your defense is doing what it's supposed to do, and now they scored some at the rim that I was disappointed on some of our coverages. I thought we blew some coverages that we have to be better, and we cleaned that up the second half. But Steven's been terrific, and he was again today.
Back from the get the week here to kind of work on some stuff. Where is the team right now in your mind, and what do you want to see going into the last one?
Well, we're going to take a couple days off first. You know, we really haven't had an opportunity, you know, since we got back from Christmas. It's been, you know, it's been a grind, and it's. I think you heard Trey speak to it. It's mentally, you know, they just need a little bit of a break. And you know, fortunately, the group gets along really well, and they like being around each other. It's really difficult if you have a group that isn't as cohesive, and they got to be in practice every day and traveling, and you're on the road for 5 days. And but this group gets along. But I just think a little bit of a reset is good. I think it's good for the coaches as well. We can kind of take a step back and you know, watch some film of ourselves from a different lens and not be so worried about the next game. But you know, we started 0-2 in the league, and our backs were against the wall. And the month of January, we were able to dig our way out of that, and had some tough games on the road during that stretch. So. Unfortunately, February is not going to be easy. There's really, you know, there's no easy games left on the schedule.
Hey, Mac, do you think that the grind caught up to you guys in the first half?
I don't know what it was. You know, usually if you don't respect your opponent, that shows its face in your preparation, and I didn't see any of that Thursday or yesterday. I thought we were really locked in. I thought shoot around in our, you know, going through our final prep, I thought the guys were really good. So, you know, I don't know if the emotion of this event and everything that goes with it, we just seemed a little flat for whatever reason. But again, DePaul got to the front of the rim and made some really, really good plays, and then we missed a ton of shots at the front of the rim where we had a chance to maybe create some separation. So I don't know what happened, but I'm glad they fixed it. I'm glad they were mature enough to take what we talked about at halftime and apply it.
Coach, you talked about Steven's defense going back for a second. I mean, he came here as a 40% shooter from Utah State. I mean, to see 5 threes, that 3-point shot to come along, I mean, what does that do for you guys if he's able to find that consistently in terms of unlocking what you...
Yeah, 44% to be exact. Not that I knew that from the recruiting process, but we joked yesterday in practice. I saw a statistic that he's shooting 28% on open 3-point shots. And he joked to me that I told him during the recruiting process that I'm going to get way more open 3-point shots than I got at Utah State, which has been the case. But, you know, he didn't tell me he wasn't going to make the open ones. So maybe it was our conversation yesterday. But, you know, I've always had confidence in his ability to shoot it because he shoots it well in practice. And that is going to settle itself out. And, you know, you're going to revert to the mean. You've heard me say it before, sooner or later. But what he's doing defensively is impacting the game when his shots weren't going in. But it was nice for him to see it go in. And to his point, all those guys, you know, they're telling him to shoot it when he's open. You know, that's a great shot for us when Stephen Ashworth has a 3.
I know the second largest breakout game attendance. I know that, you know, every time you walk out of that tunnel, you kind of get those same emotions that have come back through these 14 years, but I don't know. Are they ever any different? Do they always feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things this week. You know, number one, at practice yesterday, I was here a little early, so I went up and kind of walked around the concourse. And if there was a day to rob our athletic department, it would have been yesterday around 11 o'clock, because I think the entire athletic staff was up there pulling T-shirts out of boxes and putting them on tables. You know, people that have a lot to do with their jobs, that are really busy and their plates full already, to take the time to come together and do that. And then I had my cousin Michelle, her husband, passed away of a brain tumor this week, 52 years old. He was actually diagnosed while they were in Louisville watching us play in the Elite Eight. That funeral was yesterday, so that really hit home. And you know, why we continue to do this, why we have to raise funds, and then I was at the Hope Lodge yesterday to do a radio interview and you know, talk with a gentleman from England that's been there, and my son Nick, through a mutual friend, texted me about a lady from I believe it was Rushville, Nebraska, that just spent 8 or 9 weeks there with her treatment, and just raved about the staff and how it felt like a home away from home, and the staff went above and beyond to make him feel comfortable. And that's why we're raising money, to keep that building afloat, and you know, making sure that we're having a positive impact on the lives of cancer patients when they're in the middle of it, because the last thing they need to worry about is a place to stay. And you know, people have come from 35 states and I think 7 or 8 countries to stay at that Hope Lodge since it's opened. It's pretty incredible. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the importance of screening and early detection in the fight against cancer. And that's part of the reason that, you know, this is such a great event, and it's such a powerful event, that you hope that a few people that maybe have let it slide go ahead and get those checkups. And especially during COVID, I think a wrench got thrown into everything in everybody's life, because those type of appointments weren't really available during the COVID, because it was just pretty much major stuff, and people got out of the habit, and we need to make sure people get back into that habit. But I've said it before, and I said it leading up to this game, you know, what this community does and how they have supported this has been absolutely incredible. And you heard Stephen, every one of our guys has been impacted by it some way. So it's very powerful for them, and you know, what they're doing on the floor right now, meeting these families. You know, they put the name on the back of that shooting shirt because there's a story behind that name. And some of the stories, there was a happy ending, and unfortunately some of them there weren't. But as I told the guys, ask what the story is, because that's why those people put the name on that jersey, paid to put the name in the jersey, because they want to tell the story. They want to tell the story of someone that was so courageous and fought this awful disease and was able to win and live a healthy life. And then there's some that didn't, and they want to tell those stories. So it still amazes me. It's still I get goosebumps when I walk through that tunnel every time, and so appreciate not just what our fans do and what our staff does, but you know, the media. You folks have done a great job of promoting it and getting the messaging out that we want to get out as to why we started this thing to begin with. So I really appreciate you guys as well. Thanks.